how eggs and cakes affected our understanding of user experience design and new product development. Hey everyone, my name is Sohail Abbasi and welcome to the Innovation Factory podcast, your one-stop shop for all things related to startups, innovation, and entrepreneurship. In this episode, I am going to talk about eggs and cakes. Make no mistake, I'm not going to give you instruction on how to make a cake. Rather, this episode is about a human-centric, need-first approach to innovation. Alright, let's talk about cakes. Back in the 50s, instant mixing technologies had reached new heights, and dry food mixes were filling store shelves. Cake mixes were seen as a great product to target busy homemakers, and food production companies rushed to make huge amount of cake mixes with a vast variety of tastes and textures. Cake mixes seemed like a great way for busy homemakers to quickly bake a delicious cake in less than an hour, because all they had to do was to add water, stir, and bake. Plus, the mixes already contained milk and eggs in powdered form. However, despite big TV ads and commercials, the sales of instant cake powders weren't as good as expected. Food production companies initially thought that the reason for resistance was the taste of the cakes. But later, after lots of examination and customer survey, they found out that people actually did like the taste. So, there was no choice but to be very careful about this issue and to come up with the best possible solution. And as a result, a group of psychologists were asked to help. So the question was that despite all the benefits of baking a tasty cake very quickly, why customers are not buying it? The psychologists figured out that the reason people weren't buying the cake mixes was because it made the homemaker feel like their hard work and skill wasn't being valued. After all, anyone could just stir the powder and water and put it in the oven. So they came up with a clever solution which later named the egg theory. This means that the milk and egg powders was removed from the mix and the customer had to add them themselves. This small change made a very big difference and the new cake mixes became hugely popular. That's a really interesting story. So the egg theory was essentially a way to make customers feel like they were still baking the cake from scratch, even though they were using a mix. So allowed them to take pride in their baking, even though it was still a relatively simple process. It is really fascinating to see how psychology can be used to solve these types of problems. It is crazy to think that something as simple as leaving out some ingredients could make such a difference. It is like the difference between making a cake from scratch and using a mix. You can still get a great cake, but it's a lot easier and faster with a mix. But with the egg theory, customers could still feel like they were baking from scratch. This research allowed production companies to focus on the psychological layers of their customers. not just the functional aspects. So why was such a small change so effective? Adding a few extra steps, like adding eggs and milk, made homemakers, at that time especially housewives, feel like they had accomplished something more. It was their own time and effort that went into making a delicious meal for their family, so they could take pride in it. So, this kind of research changed the way companies viewed cake mixes. Instead of just focusing on the convenience of an instant cake, they started to understand the deeper psychological motivations behind why people want to bake, like wanting to show off their homemaking skills and be the caring housewife. So there is a great tool to have this kind of approach to the business problems and for understanding customer needs. This framework has revolutionized the way companies think about product design and customer needs. And it's called Jobs to be Done, or JTBD. So, what is JTBD? Here's a quick explanation of Jobs to be Done framework. As I said, JTBD stands for Jobs to be Done, and it's a framework for understanding customer needs. It was developed by Harvard Business School professor Clayton Christensen in the early 2000s. Christensen research showed that customers don't always buy products and services for their features, but rather they hire a product to get a job done. For example, if a customer wants to buy a new car, they don't just want a car. They want something that will get them from A to B quickly and safely, or something that looks stylish, or something that has all the features. When you look at this story through the jobs to be done lens, homemakers wanted to create a special moment with their family and show them love and affection by making a delicious cake in no time. They wanted to have the satisfaction of having prepared something special for their loved ones without having to spend hours in the kitchen. So let me tell you about some of the benefits of using JTBD in innovation and service and product design. So by using the JTBD framework, companies can get a better understanding of their customers' needs and create products and services that fit their needs. This makes it more likely that their products and services will be successful in the market. Also, using JTBD can help companies to spot unmet customer needs, which can give them an edge over the competition. Finally, JTBD helps companies to build better relationships with their customers, which can lead to more loyalty and engagement. JTBD has been adopted by many companies, including Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and many others, and is seen as a key tool for innovation and product design. Also, many startups are using JTBD to help them innovate and create successful products and services. JTBD is also being used in many industries, including healthcare, finance, education, and more. And if you like how simple Apple products are, you should definitely learn to use JTBD. That's because when using JTBD to discover promising market segments for new product development, you might also come across existing products that are overserved, meaning they offer more features or services than the customers need. In this case, the strategy you should choose is to simplify the product and focus on the customer's jobs to be done. This means removing any unnecessary features or services and ensuring that the product is tailored to the customer's need. This will make the product more appealing to the customer and make them more likely to purchase it. Additionally, this also makes the product easier to use and understand, and it won't be cluttered with unnecessary features or services. So to sum up, I think it is fair to say that this egg theory is a great example of how customer psychology works and how important it is to understand the different needs and motivations behind why people do what they do. It's not just about the functional aspects of the job they are trying to get done, but also the social and personal reasons that drive their decisions. And that is where using JTBD can make a great difference. That's a wrap for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please help me spread the word and share the Innovation Factory podcast with your network. Until next time, let's make the world a better place through innovation.